The purpose of today's lesson is to talk about the equation of a linear relationship. Throughout this chapter, we've talked about that, all right? And a linear relationship is defined by the constant rate of change. This lesson, we're going to focus more on the equation that represents a linear equation. For instance, we're given this equation, okay? We're familiar with this. We're going to graph this equation using a table. It's called a T-chart that represents solutions to this equation. Well, the x is given, so we have to find the y. So what you have to do is you have to substitute the x in for the y. So 2 times the negative 1 is negative 2 plus 5 is 3. Then we would do the same with 0. 2 times 0 plus 5 is 5, and so on. So 1, we could do that mentally. That's going to be 7, and 2 is going to be 9. What is the slope of this line? Well, we're pretty familiar with that. And I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to say slope, and it's the number in front of the x. So the slope, which is represented by m, is 2. Where do you see the slope in this equation? In front of the x. In front of the x. Okay. And the next question, now we go over to the graph. So we're going to graph this line by using the table. We have negative 1, 3. We have 0, 5, 1, 7, and 2, 9. So if we were to graph this line, it would look like this. We could have also found the slope by going the rise over the run. So 2 over 1. 2 over 1. That's also the slope. That's another way to find it. So the slope is always going to be in front of the x. Often the letter B is used to denote the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept of this line? Okay, let's take a look. Where is it located? The y-intercept is blue. It's right here. Wherever it intersects the y-axis is your y-intercept. So let me put that on there again because it wanted to go away. Where is the y-intercept in the equation? Well, let's go back up. There it is. It's a plus 5. So be familiar of where everything is located. No. Don't go that far. Okay. The y-intercept then is 5. Where do you see the y-intercept in the equation? It's the constant that is added or subtracted. Okay? So it's the constant. Remember, a constant is strictly a number. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing in this lesson. And it's kind of exciting because it's all coming together. I can feel your excitement. All right, let's take a look at this next one. For each of the equations given below, make a table of values to help you graph the line. Identify the slope and y-intercept. Circle the slope in your equation. So we're supposed to circle the slope and put a star next to the y-intercept. Okay, so we're going to star intercept. Okay, we get to choose our values for x. So it's going to be, each one of you could have different numbers. Some people like to include negatives, and some will strictly go with positives. So let's see, I'm going to use these. You don't have to. And then, of course, I would substitute in 5 times a negative 1. That's supposed to be a negative 1 minus 2. So negative 5 minus 2 is a negative 7. Then I substitute in 0, and I'm going to get a negative 2. Substitute in 1. 5 times 1 is 5, minus 2 is 3. Substitute in 2, and I'm going to end up with an 8. Now we're supposed to graph these. Negative 1, negative 7, 0, negative 2. Ooh, as soon as I see that, my mind says y-intercept. Notice that, because it's on the y-axis. Okay. 1, 3, and then 2, 8. 8. All right, so we We're going to connect these. And we can find the slope by from one point to the next. We could do it that way. So the slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. All right, we're supposed to circle the slope. And look, here's where the slope is. We're supposed to circle it. And the y-intercept is right here. Y-intercept. And that is right there. Now notice, I'm supposed to put a star by it. Notice how I put a whole -2. It's not just the 2, it's the -2. And our slope, I'm always going to do yellow, because then it's consistent. Then I know what is what here. All right, so the slope, m equals, the slope I decided was 5 over 1. The y-intercept, which is used a b, is -2. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. Same thing. I'm going to name these, and then I want you to find, I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. That's okay, I can do that. Choices, you wouldn't want to pick like 90, 95, 96, 97. That would be off this graph. So we have to try to keep all of our points on the graph. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to let you do this. Can you finish this for me, please? All right, hopefully you got the same answers I did. And why don't you go ahead and graph them? And then can you come up with the slope and the y-intercept? Come on, you got this. Give it your best. All right, do you agree with me? The slope is 3. Notice where it's located in the equation. I did rise over run, and the y-intercept is 1. All right, let's take a look at here. We got number 8. Okay, I'm going to help you out with this one. There's not a constant added, so you can just put a 0 in there. That's your hint. So the hint is 0 goes here. All right, let's use 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to complete this one. So we have on your own number 8. And we still have another page here. All right, let's take a look here. So you got 8 is on your own. 9, let me help you with this one because this is a little bit different. We have to rearrange this. So we need the equation to look like y equals something plus something. So notice here's the y. So really we need to get rid of this x from both sides. Watch what happens. We're going to have -x plus 3. Ah, now do you see it? Okay, let's use 0, 1, 2, 3 again. I want you to find the y's. I helped you get the equation. You're going to graph it. And you're going to tell me the slope. And you're going to tell me the y-intercept. Okay, so we have 9 on your own. And 10, I'm pretty confident you can handle. Well, you still have to make a table here. You got to make your table. They just didn't draw it for you. And here's another one. I'm going to actually help you with 10 because when we choose our x's here, look at this. We're going to have to take half of something. So I'm going to strategize and I'm going to use multiples of 2. Think of what I'm doing because it's so easy to take half of an even number. Because watch, if I take half of -2, let's see if I can squeeze that in here. Half of -2, obviously it's going to be positive. Half of 2 is 1. 1 minus 2 is going to be a -1. If you put a 0 in here, we're going to end up with a -2. Half of 2, of course, is 1. 1 minus 2 is a, oh boy, where did I mess up here? That's going to be, oh, I don't know. That shouldn't have been a negative. I don't know why I put a negative there. This one should have been a -3. Sorry for the noise. This becomes a -1. Hold on. Okay. And then if we do half of 4, that's 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. But notice the consistency. Notice what's happening here. They're decreasing by the same amount. Okay, the slope, you can handle that. The y-intercept, that's obvious. I just needed to help you with the table. Okay, when I do this one, number 11, I'm going to use multiples of 3. So always check your denominator and then use multiples of that. Look at what I did. Okay, so you have 8, 9, 10, and 11 to finish on your own. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11. 8, 9, 10, and 11. But I helped you get those started. Okay, let's summarize down here at the bottom. You can scroll this. Examine the graphs and equations given above. Describe the general form of a linear equation. In other words, how is a linear equation written? What are its parts? Okay, here we go. This is the truth about linear equations. It's going to be y equals mx plus b. What are different parts? M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. And that's what it says right down here. So at the bottom, what they're asking for, slope-intercept form, is y equals mx plus b. You're going to hear this throughout your math career. What if the y-intercept is 0? Well, you're just going to have y equals mx. And you really don't want to put plus 0. You could, but technically you leave it this way. Okay, this was a good roundup of this chapter, and this concludes our lesson on the equation of a linear relationship.